I gave Gemini Spark my to-do list at 9 a.m. and walked away. I came back at 9:34 a.m. 5 tasks. Done. Not drafted, not partially completed, finished. The meeting was booked. The spreadsheet was analyzed with a summary. The LinkedIn post was written and scheduled. The email was in my drafts. This is not ChatGPT. This is not Gemini 3.5. This is something different. Gemini Spark is Google's first autonomous AI agent, and the difference between an agent and a chatbot is the difference between a calculator and an accountant. A chatbot waits for your next message. An agent takes your goal and works until it's done. Google launched Gemini Spark as part of Google AI Ultra in May 2026. It is currently limited to US users, but I'm going to show you how to access it from India, what it actually does, where it genuinely impressed me, and where it failed. Because it did fail, and you should know where. Let's go. Let me explain what makes Spark different from every AI tool you've used before, because the marketing language around agents can be confusing. Every AI you've used up to this point, ChatGPT, Claude, even Gemini 3.5, is a conversational AI. You type, it responds. You type again, it responds again. Every action requires your input. The AI is reactive. It is extremely capable, but it waits for you. An AI agent is different. You give it a goal, not a prompt, a goal, and it figures out the steps required to achieve that goal, executes them in sequence, uses whatever tools it has access to, and reports back when it's done or when it hits something it can't handle. It is proactive. It works. Gemini Spark has access to your Google ecosystem: Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Docs, Sheets, Drive, and Chrome browsing. It also connects to LinkedIn and Slack in the current version. When you give it a goal, you can see it planning. It breaks the goal into steps, shows you which tool it's using for each step, and runs them in order. This is why it feels different. You can watch it working. There's a live task log. Opening Gmail, searching for project area emails from last 30 days, summarizing, and then it moves to the next step. It's like watching someone else run your computer, except they're an AI and they're faster. Here's the practical issue for Indian viewers. Gemini Spark and Google AI Ultra are currently US only. Google hasn't announced an India launch date, but there is a workaround, and I've been using it for the past 10 days. You need a VPN. I use Proton VPN, which has a free tier, and you need to connect to a US server before opening google.com IIONA. Switch to a US IP, go to Google One, and the AI Ultra subscription option becomes visible. It costs $19.99 US per month, approximately 1,670 rupees paid in USD. One practical note: Google will ask for a billing address. Use your international enabled credit or debit card. Most Indian banks with Visa or MasterCard International will work. Enter a valid US zip code in the billing section. This is a gray area in terms of Google's terms of service, so proceed at your own judgment. I'm telling you it works, not that it's explicitly endorsed. Once you're subscribed, you access Spark at labs.google.com/Spark, again, through a US VPN. Sign in with your Google account, and you're in. Task 1. Research. I asked Spark to find the top 5 competitors in digital marketing in India, analyze their services and traffic estimates, identify one weakness per competitor, and put it all in a Google Doc. You can watch it work. It ran a series of web searches, pulled data from multiple sources, and then opened Google Docs and began writing. 14 minutes later, it sent me a notification. Research complete. The document was genuinely useful. The competitor analysis was accurate. I verified several points, and the weakness section showed real insight, not generic observations. One competitor was flagged for slow page load speeds, which I confirmed using Google PageSpeed Insights. That's the kind of specific detail a human researcher would find. Spark found it autonomously. Task 1, passed. Task 2, email drafting with context. I asked Spark to pull all emails from a specific contact, understand the thread, and draft a status update. This tests whether it can synthesize context from real communications. It found and read 6 emails from the thread, correctly identified that the last exchange was about Phase 1 deliverables, and drafted an email that referenced specific points from our conversation. The draft referenced the specific deliverable we discussed in Email 3, a brand guide revision, without me mentioning it in the prompt. It read the thread. It understood it. The draft was 90% sendable with minor edits. Task 2, passed, with minor tweaks needed. Task 3, calendar management. Book a meeting on Tuesday, find a free slot, create the invite, add the guest. This was the smoothest task. It checked my calendar, found I had a 2 p.m. gap that fit a 45-minute window, created the event with the correct title and guest. The invite was in my calendar within 2 minutes. Spark also added a brief agenda in the event description. I didn't ask for that, but it was a useful addition. Task 3, passed cleanly. Task 4, spreadsheet analysis. This is a real task I run every month, pulling revenue data and finding the patterns. Spark opened the file, ran the calculations, and highlighted the top revenue sources in green, a formatting touch I didn't request. The summary was accurate. But here's where I found a partial failure. It flagged 2 months where expenses exceeded revenue, but missed 1 month where the difference was very small, a 200 rupee deficit buried in the data. It's a minor miss, but if you're doing financial reporting, minor misses matter. Task 4, mostly passed, but verify your numbers. Task 5, LinkedIn post, written and scheduled. The post was well written, professional tone, appropriate use of hashtags, clear project announcement. Scheduling it required the LinkedIn integration to be authorized, which I'd done during setup. The post was scheduled correctly. One small thing. Spark scheduled it in Pacific time, and I had to verify the IST conversion was right. It was, but double-check time zone settings when you first set up the integration. Task 5, passed. Let me tell you what didn't work, because I ran more than 5 tasks during my testing week. Number 1, multi-tool tasks with decision points. When I asked Spark to research a supplier, compare prices, and then draft a purchase order, it stalled when the price comparison required logging into a supplier portal with a password. Spark can't handle authentication walls. If the data is behind a login that isn't a connected Google tool, it stops and tells you. Number 2, judgment-based tasks. I asked it to review my email inbox and prioritize the 5 most urgent emails. It surfaced 5 emails, but its definition of urgent was based on keywords like ASAP and deadline, not actual business context. It flagged a newsletter with the word urgent in the subject line. You still need to supervise judgment calls. Number 3, India-specific platform integrations. WhatsApp Business, Razorpay, Zoho. These are not yet in the Spark integration library. For Indian business workflows that rely on these tools, Spark has significant gaps. The honest verdict, Gemini Spark is the most impressive demo I've run this year. For routine, structured tasks in the Google ecosystem, it works. For anything requiring judgment, authentication, or tools outside its integration list, it still needs your help. That's not a failure. It's an early-stage AI agent. It will get better fast, but know what you're signing up for. I'll put the full India Access Guide, VPN billing setup steps, as a pinned comment below so you can copy it easily. Subscribe for weekly AI tool tests like this, Monday and Thursday, and drop a comment. Which of those 5 tasks would matter most to your workflow? That's the one I'll do a full dedicated tutorial on next. See you in the next one.